right, we are here at Jekyll Island, Holiday Inn Resort. That's the Atlantic Ocean. And we're going to get out here and ride these bikes. Check out some scenes. So hang in there. I'm gonna pick up my date. You ready to go?
Yeah, we're ready.
All right, let's go. All right, this is the official bike / walking trail. What we're gonna try to do down here is find a ramp that will let us get down onto the beach. The ones behind the hotel are
Hey.
steps, but they have these easy elevated ramps for wheelchair access and bicycle access and all this kind of stuff. It rained all the way over here on us today, so we were a little bit afraid these bikes were going to get shorted out, but we let them dry off for a while right in front of the air conditioning, and everything seems to be fine.
Beep, beep.
And there goes Miss Beth. Horns work.
Beep, beep.
If you've never been to Jekyll Island, you need to come check it out. It's very, very, very unpopulated, which is a good thing. Really clean. It's not really a commercialized island per se. It's just really nice. Does that look like a ramp right there? Right. Is that a ramp right there? Yep, it is. All right. That sand might be a little soft, so just be careful. And we are on the beach on bikes. Check it out, man. This stuff's so hard packed and so smooth. Check this out. Woo! What do you think, Beth?
That was nice. Very nice.
This is just like hard packed concrete. It goes for miles and miles and miles and miles. This is so much fun.
There's already been a bike on here. I don't know what it was doing. It was zigzagging in and out.
Best thing about these particular bikes, they have cruise control. Just push a button, cruise control pops on. You can just roll along. How about that? Where can you do this? Jekyll Beach, Georgia. That's where you can do it. You see, there's hardly anybody on the beach. Hardly anybody. I can visually see 1, 2, 3, 4 people. Way down there, about a mile, I see about 8 or 10 people. This is the way to do it. Just cruise and cruise. Temperatures in the 70s. No humidity, a nice breeze. Yeah, it rained all day today, but it ain't raining now. So we're enjoying it. Just go and go and go and go and go. This is very, very hard packed sand. It's just like concrete. You can see the bike trail right here. Other people are riding on it.
Hey!
Hey. Beth, I had a guy tell me on a post the other day that he was going to unsubscribe from me because I was racist.
What?
Yeah. He said I was racist because in that one video where I didn't like that particular carburetor and I went, it's a ching chong ching carburetor.
Yeah?
He said that I was being racist.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I guess if I said ching chong ching, If you say ching chong ching, that means you're racist.
No, that just means it's cheap made because it came from a cheap place. Ching chong.
So next
Ching
time
chong
you go to a
chong.
Chinese restaurant,
Yeah.
don't say the name of the Chinese restaurant because you might be racist.
Right. Well, if that's, there ain't no way I'm racist because I go to every Chinese restaurant in every town I can find. I love me some Chinese and some Mexican and some whatever. It don't matter as long as the food is good.
We're from Alabama and we make fun of our own accent, don't we?
Love me some soul food too. Heck yeah.
Y'all from Alabama? Yeah.
We're in Georgia, and I guarantee you people will be asking us, where are we from?
Where y'all from?
Well, actually, I am from Georgia. I lived in Georgia, but now I live in Alabama.
Whoa tie.
Row tie,
Whoa
whoa eagle.
Whoa tie and whoa eagle.
Whatever.
Ain't nobody racist.
Hello. It's getting a little chilly out here.
Yeah, it's a little bit chilly. Is that the Weston? We've already been a mile and a half.
Guess so. We know they got a ramp.
Yeah, that's it. Get turned there. You got to go through the sand. You might want to walk or go real fast.
I go bust my butt. Oh.
Yeah, this is the Weston. We stayed here last year. Yeah, it's a little bit pricey. And I kind of like where we are better. Not because of the price, but just because of the way it's laid out. You walk out the back door of your room and you're right where you need to be. All right. This is kind of the main deal here, kind of the main street situation at Jekyll Island. Of a town center type situation. So we'll go ahead and cross the road here. And cruise down to these, we'll cruise down to these old homes that were built by the wealthy back in the early 1900s, like 1900, 1910, 1920, 1890. The very, very wealthy folks back during that time, Rockefellers, heck, I don't know, Henry Ford, those type people.
I need to trim them trees.
They basically put together a coalition and bought this island, and they made a private club out of it. And they allowed, I believe they said it was 100 members. And the members had to be invited in. So they all got together and built this hotel. This hotel is enormous. And you can still stay there. It's operational. And the houses, most of them are still there. A couple of them, well, I think one of them burnt down or something, and one got in so bad of disrepair that they just tore it down.
There's a Dairy Queen right there. I didn't know that.
But it's really, really amazing that they did all this before any type of power tools or anything like that. And there was nothing on this island. Everything had to be brought here by boat. There was no roads here. There was no road to get here. They said another reason why they wanted this island was to stay away from like media and people trying to get access to them and stuff. So they would come here to get away from all that. And it's right up here. All right, here's where it starts getting fun. Just a short ways away from the village.
Shit.
That was almost an accident.
Be careful. That ran over me.
You okay back there?
So that boy right run over me.
I know. Just across this little wooden pathway, we suddenly arrive at the village where once was very private and exclusive for the uber wealthy people. From back in the early 1900s. Now, one of the other things that they said, we took a tour and they taught us all this stuff. One of the other things they said was, so for about 40 years, this village was really popular. Okay, I think World War II started in the 40s, 41, 42, whatever it was. I don't know the dates, but so from like 1900 all the way up to 1940, this was a really exclusive club and became pretty popular. Well, just like as with anything, things go out of style. So what one generation enjoys doing, the next generation thinks it's dumb or nerdy. So the very wealthy people that developed all this stuff and created it, when their children grew up, they didn't want anything to do with it. They thought it was uncool. They don't want nothing to do with it. So it became a point to where nobody came here. Sometime in the 30s, it started diminishing. But by the 40s, World War II kicked in. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the government took over this island for strategic reasons. The federal government took it over. I believe that's what they said. But anyway, so right about here is where everything starts. I'm going to cross the road right here and get on one of the original pathways. So this is one of the original roads. It's made out of this stuff they call tabby. All right, look how beautiful this is. And this is what, oh look, there's deer over there. Look, baby, there's deer.
Deer.
There's deer right here in the yard.
Beautiful.
You see them? Look.
Oh, how pretty.
They're just right here.
Oh my God.
Right at the pathway.
They're beautiful. Look at them. I gotta take a video of them.
Again, this is Jekyll Island, and we're on one of the original pathways
Oh, so pretty.
that was created for this neighborhood. Or this resort, or this community, or whatever it was they created. I think there's only 13 homes here.
Yeah,
that
something
were
like
built.
that.
I think it was the original 13 homes. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to cruise along really slowly.
I just took a picture.
And I'll show you some of these houses. Could you just imagine in 1910 or 1915 coming to this island and
So pretty.
having it to yourself? I'm gonna cruise down this sidewalk to this home. This is the first home. So, look at this. They called these cottages. That's what they called them. These were cottages.
Hey, did they have Carrier air conditioning companies back then?
I don't think they had Carrier air conditioning back then. So this one is called the Moss Cottage. I don't know who that was, but it was somebody significant. Moss. They said it was established in 1896. There you go. All right, so let's cruise on to the next one. They built this house in 1896 with a paved driveway.
There's a car coming.
Unbelievable. All right, so this would have been like the main drag, sort of, kind of. Probably horse and buggy or Model A Fords or whatever.
There's a bunch of deer
Cruising
over there in
along.
that field. Do you see them? They're gorgeous.
This one is called the Goodyear Cottage, and I don't think it's the Goodyear tire guy. I think it's another Goodyear. Let me turn here so you can see it. So this one is called the Goodyear Cottage.
Goodyear Cottage. While you're filming
It
that, I'm gonna
says
go down the
established
driveway.
1906, I believe it says. 1906. We'll pull in here. Let's see.
There's a gift
1906.
shop in there. It's closed.
Somebody's beach cottage. Yeah. Just amazing. Okay, then we'll go back here. There's a little trail, a little paved trail. And then we'll just cruise on down to the next door neighbor. This is somebody else. We'll pull around the front and see if there's a sign on it.
The Mistletoe Cottage.
Mistletoe Cottage is what it says. Yeah. Pull up to the front. Let me get a little bit of a video of it.
1900.
Mistletoe Cottage. Here we go. Mistletoe Cottage. Now this says 1901. I can't really read it. But it's early 1900s anyway. All right, let's go to the next one. Indian Mound Cottage. This one was, looks like it says 1890.
Indian Mound Cottage.
1892. That's what this one says. 1892. I think this is the one
where the lady had the cages built
yeah,
to climb down.
Yeah, the metal racks and the metal cages right there. I believe this was the Rockefeller home, if I'm not mistaken.
Indian Mound Cottage.
But anyway, she was afraid that anybody that stayed with her that stayed on the second floor, if the house caught on fire, she wanted them to be able to escape. So she had somebody create these fences or ladders or whatever so that you could climb down and out of the house if the house caught on fire. At least that's what they told us on the. They told us on the.
She had a fear of fire.
on the tour. That's what they told us on the tour. We'll cruise through their driveway.
The whole house. Let's get a closer view.
It says authorized vehicles
Get a
only.
closer
So we won't
view?
go in there.
No? Okay.
Right up here is the hotel that they built. And if I have my information right, it was only 100 members to this thing, right? So with that being said, there's only 13 or 14 homes, whatever it was. But all the other people used the hotel. The people that didn't have any money. All the poor people had to stay in the hotel, didn't they, Beth?
This kind of reminds me of the Overlook of The Shining.
Yeah.
That big motel over there. I mean, I know it ain't, but.
All right, so this is
Sushi.
the main hotel. It says do not enter, so we will respect that. But let me turn around here. Looks like they have a croquet field. The clubhouse. Isn't that something? Evolution of elegance.
The clubhouse. This is the clubhouse.
There's an old car up here. You can stay in this hotel if you want.
Look at that car. What year is that car?
I'm sure it's in the 40s. So back here is where they say that the staff stayed. And all these red brick lines here in the road were outlines of other buildings. So they've showed where whatever it was there, some kind of barn or garage or something. But this is sort of like the little Main Street type deal for this particular village. Really, really neat.
Founders Social Club. Yeah.
Little bar we just passed. There's a little candy store up here, ice cream store.
You are going too slow. I'm going to run into you.
Let's go down this way. There's also a turtle rescue here. We went there last year. It's good to go there once. It's a positive thing. It's just, I don't want to go back. Don't need to. That's the turtle rescue deal. Right there, that red brick building.
There's the turtle hospital.
Mm-hmm. See all these red brick squares here? That is outlining some type of a building that used to be here. See the red brick things there? That's what that means. It's something to do with other buildings that were here that were dilapidated and they had to take them down. It just designates and shows where other things were. It's the back side of the hotel.
There's a big chair.
There's the
my
big
big
chair.
rocking chair.
Really peaceful. You can hear birds chirping and.
You want me to get up in it?
Yeah, if
I
you
bet
want
it's
to.
wet, ain't it?
It's probably wet.
Huh?
It's probably wet, but if you want to get up in there, I'll get you. I'll get you getting up in it. Yeah, it's wet, but go ahead.
Never mind. Which way next?
You'll just have a wet butt for a little
Let's
while.
go back down that road and come back around that
All right.
end,
All
out
right.
the end.
All right, let's go.
Have we looked at everything in here yet?
Yeah, we'll keep cruising. Let's go this
Okay.
way. Crane Cottage, Cherokee Cottage, Faith Chapel this way. Crane Cottage was the guy that used to own the Crane company, all your toilet
Red bug.
stuff like your
I thought it
faucets
said
and toilets
bed
that had
bug.
the word crane on it. It was this guy. He's got the most fanciest house here. It's this white one right here. A lot of people still use it for weddings and stuff, but this ain't no cottage. This is dang mansion. Let's go this way and go around the front.
Looks like somebody's gonna be getting married.
Yeah, they're probably gonna have a wedding.
I hope they didn't get
they're gonna have a
rained
wedding.
out. I hope they don't get rained out.
Jekyll Island. All right, I'm gonna pull over here and give you a view of this thing. This is the crane cottage.
Didn't they make pipes and
It was
plumbing?
toilet stuff like faucets and sinks and commodes,
Look at that tree.
those kind of things.
How
guys know what
big
a
is that
commode
bad
is.
boy? Whoa.
All right, let's see. Let's keep on going. Crane cottage. This one was built in 1917.
You're
1917.
gonna wreck me.
And they also said that he was trying to work around some kind of codes or something. He was trying to avoid some fees or something. So he wound up not even putting his own fixtures in there, his own bathroom fixtures.
Because he was a cheapskate.
So he didn't finish out the house, and he didn't put any of his fixtures in there. I think he used some other brand. Oh, look, here's someone's coming out the door up there. How about that? All right, let's move on. This looks really, really ritzy. This kind of is the end of the cottage row kind of thing. Here's another one back here. Let's see what this one says. Cherokee Cottage. That's what this one is. And it says it was built in 1904. Cherokee Cottage.
Cherokee Cottage.
1904.
Ooh.
Let's have a look at it.
1904. This is pretty. Now, if I was going to have a cottage, this is what I'd want right here.
Just a cottage.
Yeah, I don't want one like this.
That's all it is. I don't know
Look
the
at
history
those
behind
doors.
this one,
Ooh, that's pretty.
but somebody had some dough.
Hey, more deer.
There's another one right next door. Here's some more deer.
Yeah, a bunch of them.
There's another deer up there.
Bunch of them.
See him?
Right there.
It's right there.
And over
Another
here.
deer.
Right there.
Right there. They're not scared of nobody.
Oh my gosh, there's like 1, 2, 3,
So there was
4,
another
5,
story they
6.
told on the tour that some royal person, some king, or somebody from Africa that was royalty, made friends with one of these people here and gave them, oh look, there's some more.
Yeah, there's one over there. There's one over there by that car.
And so this royal guy from whatever country it
Two over
was
there by that car.
gave one of these guys a gift from that country, and it was a male and a female wild boar. And they wanted to make it so they could go hunting. Well, they multiplied, and they multiplied to a point to where they pretty much took over the island. And they had to put fences up to keep them from coming inside these people's houses when they weren't here in the off season. So it got so bad, they had to hire professional hunters to come in here and kill them all. The island's not that big. So they got to get rid of all the wild boar after a couple of years.
And go around and see if we can catch them.
All right, let's go this way.
I want to go around there and catch them.
We can go this way and come right up by those deer.
Look at that one.
right there.
Hey, baby. Hey. Hello. Hello, baby. Hello. You're so pretty. You're so pretty. Yeah. You are so pretty.
Isn't that something?
Look at that little one. Hey, they're not even scared of us.
Some of them you can get up close to, and some of them they don't want you getting close to. This one, apparently they don't care. Now this is one of those houses they made it out of that stuff they call tabby, which is a mixture of seashells and concrete. You kind of see it.
It reminds me of like the old West, like an old saloon or tavern. You know, I see how
Yeah, it's got a Spanish look to it.
Yeah.
All right, there's just a couple more down this way. People, this is all free. You pay $10 to get on the island. Bring a bicycle with you or walk. This is all free. If you want to get a tour, you pay for the tour. But if you don't, you don't. Let's see what this one's called. Right down this sidewalk right here. This is called Villa Ospo. Villa Ospo. And it was built in 1927.
Villa
Let's take a look at it.
Cute. 1927.
It's got a garage on it.
Cute as it could be right there, isn't it?
Sort of a garage right there. This probably was one of the last ones they built.
1927. It's pretty modern.
Yeah, modern looking. So we're gonna go on the back road back here. Go back through all this stuff on this long. This is where the garbage truck ran, isn't it, Beth?
Something smells like dookie back there.
Duquois, if you're from France. There's a big horse stable thing up here too. We'll go look at that. We'll look at the horse stable thing where they kept all the horses.
Oh, they did have a wedding. Look.
Oh, there is a wedding in there.
They're all in the back.
That's fancy.
Pretty. That's the chapel right there. They probably had it in the chapel. Go ahead, go ahead.
I wish I could bike. I don't know how to.
Oh, you can do it.
They have three-wheel bikes. You get a three-wheel one.
I'm hopefully.
This is the sea turtle thing. All these bricks have people's names on them for donating. So this was the horse stables. You can kind of tell with the gates and the doors and the roof, sort of a steeple roof. All right, it's getting kind of dark, so that was just a quick tour. Our first day here, second trip to Jekyll Island. But our first day here. Tomorrow we're going to go all the way around the island. I think it's only 6 miles from top to bottom. But there's trails a bike trail and walking trail that goes completely around it. And part of the trail also goes through some of the marshes, some of the wetlands. So we will be doing that tomorrow. Okay, we're getting started. Today's Saturday and the weather's much better. So we're going to take off and go north. First stop is going to be Driftwood Beach. You guys are really going to like this. Hang in there. This is a new path. We haven't been down this one. Let's see what happens. All right, we're walking towards what's called Driftwood Beach. And what the deal is here is over a long period of time, this was a sort of an oak forest filled with oak trees. And as time has gone by, the island has washed away and these trees just kind of fell into the Atlantic Ocean. It gives it sort of an apocalyptic look.
But they left them
They just left it. These are,
like this.
you know, telling how old these trees are. But, I mean, it's solid, hard wood. Looks like somebody's getting married down here, right on Driftwood Beach. Let's walk down there and look at that, Beth. Really, really unique place. I'll scan and show you. See, there's a tree right there that's still standing, but the roots are exposed. That tree's still standing. Hasn't fell in yet.
Look at this one. I'll take a picture of this one.
Really unique. There's the root system, still there. It just hasn't fell down yet.
Get over there, buddy. I'm gonna take your picture. I'll take your picture. Oh, that's good. Say cheese. Say cheese.
It looks like a wedding's about to get started,
like
or
it,
has
doesn't it?
already gotten started.
There's some standing over there. Looks like they're doing hair or something. And then there's the chairs, and that'll be pretty. Unusual.
The root system vertical after the tree fell down.
Looks like another tree ran into it and sort of grew into it, doesn't it? Like it's hugging it.
We're going to move on to our next piece of the adventure.
Wherever it may take us.
There is a trail up here that goes through the wetlands. I think we're going to try to do that. All right, here we go. This is an unpaved part of the trail. We're just going to cruise right on through it and see what happens. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, we're okay. There's the Jekyll Island campground. This is back on the, quote, bike trail, unquote. But it's pretty much a sidewalk, and that's okay because it's nice and smooth and shady and pretty. And that brings us out to what they call the Horton House. We'll go over here what they say about it in just a second. But apparently it was
Need to
built
go check that out.
way back in the 1700s. Let's find out. What do we got here, Beth?
Well, this is a historical building. Let's go check it out. We'll go look at the sign and it'll tell us what it is.
This used to be somebody's house, didn't it?
I think so. It's made out of shells and...
Let's go see what this sign says over here.
This is the Horton House.
What does it say?
William Horton, Undersheriff of Herefordshire, England, came to Georgia in 1736. He built this building for his plantation residence, and it was his home until his death in 1749. Major Horton succeeded Oglethorpe as commander of the regiment of the British troops stationed here. He shined in war and in peace, in public and in private stations, given by his descendants.
Well, there you go.
Horton House. William Horton, Undersheriff of
He was an English
Herefordshire.
soldier. apparently.
Herefordshire. What a name.
From what I gather, he was an English soldier.
Uh-huh, yep.
All right, we'll continue on the trail. It goes along the, what would be the western coast of Jekyll Island. So we're just going to continue down the bike trail. A lot of history. These little signs here.
Oh, it's the
Here's the airport.
airport.
We're going to stop here for a minute and check it out.
Be nice if a plane was landing.
Yeah. Maybe there will be one soon. So give me your thoughts. What do you think so far? What about these trails? What about the bike riding?
Oh, it is such a beautiful day. It is such a beautiful day. The trails are beautiful. Even the dirt trails going through the, I want to call it like the Everglades is what it looks like, but man, it's unbelievable. You just have to come see it for yourself. Jekyll Island, Georgia. It's an island.
So these folks are about to take this airplane and fly back to Jacksonville, he just said. I told him I just saw part of the wing fall off. He goes, oh, okay, we got one more.
Here she comes, y'all. Bye. Safe flight. Hit it, buddy.
All right, well, that was interesting. Said, I think that was a father and a daughter, said that they flew up here from Jacksonville to get lunch and they're gonna fly back. I think that he rented the plane to help her get time because she wants a pilot's license. or to become a commercial pilot or some reason. He's helping her out, which is fine. That's great. I'm sure she'll do fine in life with a father like that. He's helping her. That's good stuff. Where are we now?
The Westin in the grand dining room.
Grand dining room. Thank you very much.
Their food is very good.
We're gonna have lunch and then get back on the beach.
Yeah, we're having wings and a fruit platter, and Steve's getting the smash burger with fries, and I'm getting the chicken sandwich with fries. And then we're gonna get back on the bike and we're gonna do the other end of the island.
South end.
South end. We just did a complete loop of the north end.
All right. We'll get back with you in a minute. Back out to the beach. See if we can make it through this sand.
Woo!
Looks like high tide, so we're gonna have to really watch where we're going.
Yeah.
A little bit more crowded today, but that's all right, 'cause we're gonna get down here where there's not anybody.
How fast does that go?
About 30.
That is fast.
Fast as you want to go. Beep, beep.
Beep, beep. Horn blows. All right, we finally got off the beach. Now we're on some of these country trails, backcountry trails. We're gonna find our way back to the room. We've been gone most of the day. These look really nice, sort of nature trails.
I got 3 bars.
Yep, I got 3 bars too, so we're still in good shape. We've been riding these bikes all day long. Still got half the batteries left. All right, day 3. Beautiful, beautiful skies. It'll be a little bit warm today, but this is literally just walk out the door of the hotel and the view you get of the Atlantic Ocean. We're really happy. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna go find some lunch, and I think we're gonna go eat at the hotel, the original hotel built in the late 1800s. See what they got. see what we can find. This beautiful oak tree.
Isn't that
So
gorgeous?
we're gonna walk in the back way of this, they call it the clubhouse, and see what we can find. It's all original. The building, the structure is. I'm sure it's been updated with air conditioning and lights and stuff like that, but
Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
you get the idea. So we're just gonna walk around and meander around. They have an antique ATM machine in here, don't they?
Probably.
So that people could get money on their cards in the early 1900s, like in 1901 and stuff.
Is there a pool?
All right. Let's go up this way. See what we can find.
So I got in the chair, but I don't know if I get out of the chair. I might have to get some help. Wah, wah, I feel like a big baby in here. I wished it would rock. Such a beautiful day. I'll take a nap.
So we're gonna go see if we can get on a tour again. It's a lot of fun to learn about all this stuff, how these jokers created these this environment, how they created it. And I showed it in an earlier video, but it was dark.
Isn't
this is what
pretty?
was
You know,
known
I
as the
always have
horse
to zoom
stables.
in on the flowers and check
And
them out.
that's where you book your tour
That tree is gorgeous.
to get all the inside information about the island, about this village. So let's go see what they got in here. It's kind of a museum. These wealthy children had go-karts in the early 1920s and 30s. Looks like they called them the Red Bug. I don't know if this is a recreation or one that was left over. But there's a Red Bug. Here's some video of them on the beach, just like we were riding on the beach on our bikes.
Happy Father's Day. Hi, Scott. Oh, I'm sorry.
All right, let's pick us a place. How about getting the back of the bus?
The very back.
It don't matter. It's all going to the same place. So they use a Jeep to pull sort of a train of carts. All right. This will be fun and interesting.
Way in the back there. Great, great. Well, my name is Vicki, and I'll be your tour guide through history today. And I'm so happy to have y'all out on this gorgeous Sunday morning, or afternoon, I guess now. But y'all are my first tour for the day, so it feels like morning to me. Let me tell you a little bit about this building before we leave it. These were the stables during the Jekyll Island Club era, and that would have been 1886 to about 1947. These stables were used by the members of the club. Most of the members had 3 or 4 stalls apiece. One member had 10 stalls in these stables, and I will tell you more about him later. Super fascinating man. John Eugene Dominion would bring down potential buyers from New York, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and they would stay here in this house. It was kind of like a bed and breakfast house, if you can think of it that way. It's very typical Southern architecture for the time. You'll see the detached kitchen in the back. That was very common in the South. If they would detach the kitchen to keep the heat of the kitchen out of the main house during the hot summer months, and then hopefully protect the main house from fire as well. John Eugene would bring the men down here and let them hunt here on the island. He would bring over lots of birds like quail and pheasant. He would bring in duck, boar, deer to let these men hunt. And he was pretty successful at marketing this island as a hunting island. But then his brother-in-law, Newton Finney, started talking to men in the Union Club in New York, and he got them interested in maybe forming a club down here. And that's what happened. They interested 53 of those rich millionaires to form the Jekyll Island Club. The Vanderbilts, the Rockefellers, the Hydes, the Morgans, the Astors. Those men joined together to form the Jekyll Island Club, and that was in 1886. They paid John Eugene $125,000 for this island. So I'd say he did pretty good with his little investment here. Each share was $600, and most of them bought multiple shares. If you bought at least 2 shares, you were given a plot of land within the club compound, and you were encouraged to build on your land. Over time, 16 of them did build on their plots of land. But the very first thing that they built is this large building over here on our right. This was the Jekyll Island Club house, the Jekyll Island Clubhouse. And this is where they came when they first started coming. It was started in 1886 and completed in 1888, just 2 years. It had 60 rooms, a grand dining room, parlors, billiard rooms, smoking rooms, card rooms, meeting rooms, all the things millionaires need when they come for the season. And the season was January 1st to March 31st. You can go in the Jekyll Island Clubhouse now and see the lobby. It is gorgeous in there, and you can get a little feeling for what they experienced when they came down here. Now, after a couple of years, a few of them wanted more privacy and more room, so they built this large green and white building over here. They moved the Dominion Cottage from here to over there to build this. It was one of the very first condominiums in the United States. It has 6 units. Each unit had 3 bedrooms, a parlor, and a bathroom, but no kitchen, because they hired these fancy chefs from restaurants like the Delmonico in New York, and those chefs stayed here all season from January to March, the end of March, to cook for the members. They would prepare all 3 meals a day and plus an afternoon meal. Now, J.P. Morgan had that top right unit there, and he named this condominium the Sans Souci, which meant without worry and without care. And that was the perfect name for it. William and Elmira Rockefeller had the unit just below Mr. Morgan, and keep that in mind for later in our tour. On this side of the condominium, Henry Hyde owned that middle unit over here. And so if you were ever curious if Jekyll had a Hyde, yes, indeed, it did have a Hyde.
It did have a Hyde.
Now, this small building that we're passing now was the steam house. They boiled water in here and sent the steam through underground pipes over to the Sans Souci to keep it warm in January and February, when it can get, trust me, below 40 here on the island. It gets colder here on the island in those 2 months as well. Not consistently cold, but it can get dropped. Now, this large building over here on our left was built in 1930. It's the Morgan Center. It was an indoor tennis courts, named after Jack Morgan, J.P. Morgan's son, who loved to play tennis. By the roaring 20s and the 1930s, the younger generation started losing interest and coming down to Jekyll. There were many more exciting places to go. So the members started adding things like tennis courts. They improved and added golf courses. They added a swimming pool. Anything that they could think of to entice that younger generation. But they didn't want to lose the rustic simplicity of the club. This club was designed from the very beginning to be a getaway, not just from the harsh winters up north, but also a getaway from their busy lifestyles. There were tons of servants that served these families in the background, keeping them happy and meeting their every need. The road we're on right now is called Servants' Way, and it was built for the servants to travel on, usually by adult tricycle. There were tons of servants that worked for the club. Some were local people, and it was a great job to work for the club. They made a lot more money working for the club than they could have ever made on the mainland. Plus, those 9 months out of the year when the members weren't here, they got to enjoy the amenities like golf and tennis. So it was a great job. But some of the servants were personal servants, and those personal servants came down with the members when they came each season. And those would have been nannies or tutors for the children, or personal cooks, or maybe a lady's maid or a gentleman's butler. And those servants stayed on the 3rd floor of the cottages. If their family owned a cottage, they stayed there. Others stayed in dormitories, and we'll go by those later in our tour. The state of Georgia bought the island in 1947. They didn't put the causeway over for cars to come across until 1954. So in 1951, when some teenagers from Brunswick came over here to party, they came by boat. They lit a fire in the fireplace of Pulitzer Cottage and set it on fire. But it didn't really have much damage. However, the state of Georgia didn't have any funding to do anything with this side of the island. They were just leaving it as it was, as the club members left it. So instead of repairing it or doing any restoration work on the Pulitzer Cottage, they tore it down, and they used the bricks to do other things around the island. So it's kind of sad, but I like to say Mr. Pulitzer's still around. He's just kind of scattered. Now, our first our cottage here is Moss Cottage. This is our stop for the day. Moss Cottage was named after the Spanish moss that you see hanging in the trees. It's not a moss at all. It's an air plant. It's part of the pineapple family. It doesn't hurt the trees at all. It just kind of hangs out. I'm going to draw your attention to that 2nd-story dormer up there, where you'll see a date, 1896. That's the date the cottage was completed, and I'll tell you more about that when we stop and go in. I'll draw your attention to this map over the fireplace. If you study it, you'll see the Jekyll is spelled very differently than the way we spell it now. It only has one L. That's a pre-1929 map. So even though General Oglethorpe's best friend, I don't know if he was his best friend or not, but his good friend Sir Joseph Jekyll financed his trip over here, but obviously he didn't know how to spell his name.
This is the game room of the Moss Cottage, where they play poker. Had their bear skin rug. Oh, it's like a pig, wild boar.
Impressionist artist at the end of the 1800s. One of the very few women that were allowed into the Impressionist movement at that time. And she drew that picture of Jean, her friend. From this side on, you're going to see references to the Macy family. So their sister-in-law, Edith Macy, was very involved in the Girl Scouts, forming the Girl Scouts of America. And you'll see references to her there. This wallpaper upstairs, and she was able to contact William Morris in England, and they had the same. They still had the dyes to make this, so they reproduced this wallpaper for us, and it's the exact replica of the original wallpaper that was in here. I will tell you about the furnishings. So after Pulitzer Cottage burned, the state of Georgia realized maybe they needed to start protecting some of this stuff. The people from Brunswick were starting to come over and shop, you know, and things were going missing. And so they took all the furnishings from all the cottages and put it up in the clubhouse. And now you'll start seeing references to Mr. Macy's tea empire that he had. Mr. Macy had dry goods companies all over the United States, and one of his dry goods companies was A&P grocery stores. I don't know if y'all remember A&P.
I love that sink.
Yes, goodbye. You got to keep up with it because, like I said, she's about third on the list to have that second floor restored. So hopefully next time you come, it'll be open too. All right, the next one up is Goodyear Cottage, but not the tire and rubber Goodyear. Frank and Josephine Goodyear were the couple that built this beautiful cottage. Josephine's father, Mr. Looney, owned Looneyville Lumber Company in New York, and Frank was working there when he met and fell in love with Josephine. After Josephine's father died, he took over running the company, and he actually revolutionized the way lumbering is done in the United States. Frank and Josephine built their cottage and enjoyed the first season here in 1906. But before the 1907 season even started, Frank had died very unexpectedly. He was only 45. They think he just worked himself to death. Josephine was very young, and she had a young family that loved this island, so she wanted to keep coming and become a member herself. She applied for membership but was denied. It was before the women's suffrage movement, and women were not allowed to own property or become members of the club. Well, she fought it through the court system for 2 years, and she won, by golly. So you go, Josephine. This cottage is open to the public 10 to 4 on the weekends and noon to 4 during the week. It's used by the Jekyll Island Arts Association. You can go in this beautiful cottage upstairs and downstairs and see a lot of beautiful local art, but it is a pretty cottage. Next up is Mistletoe Cottage, and this was built by Henry and Annie Porter. Henry Porter wanted to be a Baptist minister, went into the seminary, but then his dad told him that he needed to make some money and go in business. So that's what he did. Small locomotive engines and industrial cutting tools. He was very successful. Annie, his wife, was a great entertainer. She loved to hold parties here at Mistletoe. We call Mistletoe our party cottage. Annie would have her servants open those 4 doors across the front of Mistletoe, and they would lay yards and yards of linen out here on the front lawn so ladies wouldn't get their skirts dirty. Then they would bring out chairs and settees and serve refreshments. It was called the Porter's Afternoon Lawn Party, and it was a thing to do here at the club. Now, I like to say Henry probably did more good for people being a millionaire than he might have ever done as a Baptist minister. Maybe he was the co-founder of the YMCA here in the United States, and he also started a school for the blind in Pennsylvania. He also offered his employees profit sharing, which was unheard of at the time. He was a great guy. Next up is Indian Mound, but this started off as the McKay Cottage. Gordon McKay was 70 years old when he built his cottage here. He was a super interesting man. I encourage you to Google him. He's just super interesting. He was a very simple man, very wealthy, but he was very simple. This cottage was about half the size you see it today. Really just that center portion there. And this mound that we're going by right here, and right here by the street, was about twice the size it was when Mr. McKay built his cottage here. When he died in 1903, the Rockefellers, who had the apartment over at the Sans Souci, William Rockefeller was the vice president of Standard Oil, brother of John D. Rockefeller. He bought this thinking that this mound here in the front yard was a sacred Indian burial ground, and he thought he had something really special. He renamed it Indian Mound, doubled the size of the cottage, and then later he added those trellises that you see all around it. Elmira loved roses, so she grew roses on those trellises, but she also had a terrific fear of fire. So they had 17 grandchildren, and there was not a season that the Rockefellers came here that at least some of their grandchildren didn't come with them. But Elmira worried about them being upstairs when a fire broke out downstairs, so she instructed her servants that should that happen, get the kids out on the roof of the porches and then down those trellises to safety. Kind of a dual purpose there. Now, when William Rockefeller completed his renovations of the cottage, he came out on his porch to look at his gorgeous view of the Jekyll River over here. But he couldn't see the river for this giant mound in his front yard, which was about 10 to 12 feet tall. So what do you think that millionaire did?
Took that
he had that thing shaved down. But they didn't find human remains. They found pottery shards and oyster shells. It was an Indian midden, an Indian trash pile. Those two indigenous groups that lived here all those thousands of years ago built about 60 of those middens all around the perimeter of the island. It protected their villages from storm waters. That's what he had, a trash pile. Now, we credit Mr. Rockefeller for establishing our bicycle paths here on Jekyll. And Jekyll has over 24 miles of bicycle paths. It's a very popular biking island. Now, it was inaccessible because, of course, the only way here was by boat. So you either came by yacht or you came by train into Brunswick. And then the club steamer would go over to Brunswick, pick you up, and bring you back. And when you landed, that's where you landed, out there at the wharf, was the boat dock. It's now a restaurant with great sunset views, but back in the day, it was the boat dock. The club superintendent, who was Ernest Grove, had his office up there in the turret of the clubhouse. He would see those boats coming and make his way over to greet the members when they came. He would bring the men their favorite cigars, and he would bring the ladies their favorite flowers every season when they came. Then he would record their visits and any guests that they brought with them. We owe so much to Mr. Grove for the meticulous records that he kept of all the improvements that were done to the club, the paint colors that were used, the parties that were held. He kept really great records, so we really owe a lot to him. If you look past the swimming pool to the club over there, you'll see a rounded glassed-in room. That is the rotunda of the grand dining room. When all the members were present and dining in that room, they say that 1/6 of the world's wealth was sitting in one room. Mr. Crane was the second wealthiest man in Chicago. He owned Crane plumbing fixtures. That business is still around today. Excuse me. When he submitted his plans to build Crane Cottage, the board of directors told him he was out of his mind. It was over the top. It was too big. It was not rustic. It was not simplistic. He was not building that. Well, he scaled it down and he toned it down. Can't y'all tell? And they finally approved it. When it was completed, it had 20 rooms and 17 bathrooms. But when the Cranes came for the very first season, not one of those 17 bathrooms had Crane plumbing fixtures. Well, he was livid, and he wanted that contractor to pull it all out and start again. But Mrs. Crane told him no way. She was ready to move in. She thought it would make a great funny story for all their guests that came with them. Now, I don't think he thought that was too funny, but humor must run in that family because their great-great-grandson is Chevy Chase.
Oh.
Now, if you look past these trees by the cart path here, you'll see a very large tree back there with a sign in front of it. That sign says that is plantation oak and that tree is 350 years old. But guess what, guys? That sign's about 50 years old.
Oh, wow.
So that tree's more like 400 years old. When a live oak starts maturing at about 100 years old, the branches start reaching down and then out as a way to support and sustain itself. That tree is now wider than it is tall. We're now passing by the very sad remains of Chakotah Cottage. Chakotah was the only one-story cottage in the whole club compound, but it was very grand. We're passing by the front stairs flanked by those two lions, and you'll look up there and you'll see the inner atrium where there was an indoor swimming pool, the only indoor swimming pool in the state of Georgia at the time. This cottage was built by David King. He was a famous contractor in New York. He built Madison Square Gardens, among other things. The Kings only stayed here about 3 seasons, and then they sold Chakotah Cottage to Edwin Gould and his wife, Sarah. Edwin was the son of Jay Gould, very, very wealthy, of course, of railroad, banking, and finance. Edwin owned more property in the club compound than any other member. Edwin and Sarah were a very young couple. They had 2 young boys. Eddie Jr. was 8, and Frank was 5 when they first moved into Chakotah Cottage. And those boys loved Jekyll. They spent a lot of Christmases here at Chakotah Cottage. And they came every season. But sadly, when Eddie Jr. was 22, he came down with a friend to hunt. He was killed in a hunting accident here on Jekyll. When that happened, Sarah was so distraught that she had Chakotah Cottage boarded up, and she deemed it a place of mourning. And she swore she would never come back to Jekyll, and she never did. All the other family members did return at times, but she never did. After a few years, the club had to have it torn down because it had fallen into such disrepair. The Maurice family joined the club when it was first started at the inception of the club, and they were the last member standing when the state took over the island. The Maurice families, Charles and Charlotte, had 8 children, and they loved Jekyll. The Maurice family spent almost 6 months out of their year here at Hollybourne. They spent almost 50 Christmases here at Hollybourne. They loved it. After their parents died, 2 of the sisters took over running Hollybourne. Now, when the state of Georgia took over the island, the Maurice family wanted to continue coming. You know, they didn't care if it was a state park. They wanted to keep coming. Well, the state told them they could not. They had to get what they wanted if they wanted to take things, and then they could leave. Well, the Maurice family did come and take everything. And what they didn't take, they gave to their employees. And what they didn't take, they had thrown in the Jekyll River because they didn't want the state of Georgia to have anything of theirs. They were really upset with Georgia. This cottage is built like Mr. Maurice's bridges. It has bridge trusses in the attic that support the 2nd and 3rd floors, and 19 bridge piers in the basement that support that lower floor. That lower floor is open from one end to the other. And this is that cottage that the basement never floods. Mr. Maurice engineered a way to pull that water out of the basement and into the river. It's a fascinating cottage. Doesn't have a lot of furnishings in the downstairs, and the upstairs we just opened about 3 weeks ago. It's open for tours now as well, and it is semi-furnished. But the Maurice family took most of everything. We have made up with them now. In 2017, their great-great-granddaughter, Holly, got married here at Hollyborn, and her wedding was here. And they are very instrumental in helping us do the restoration work. So we're very, very happy that they're happy. So Edwin Gould built this first one, this large white building that has just been recently restored. This was Gould Casino, but it was not a gambling hall. It was a playhouse for Eddie Jr. and Frank, those two little boys. It used to span all the way to these trees here by the road. What you see left is the indoor tennis courts, but it had a bowling alley, indoor shooting range, a soda fountain, a theater, a gymnasium, locker rooms.
Wow.
You know, anything two little boys might need.
Yeah.
No wonder those two little boys love this island. I'd have loved this island too if I had all that. And speaking of those two little boys, next up is Villa Mariana, and it is the last cottage built during the club era. It was built in 1928 by Frank Gould, the younger brother of Eddie Jr. He had such great memories of a little boy growing up here on the island, and he wanted his daughter Mary Ann to experience the same thing. So he built Villa Mariana for his family. Put in that beautiful reflection pool there, this one is stunning. You can't really see the tower. It's kind of behind that crepe myrtle that's blooming there. But he built that so he could see the ocean on his left and the river on his right. This one is just gorgeous. When the state of Georgia took over the island in 1947, by then the club had really started going down and the island really was in disrepair. So they brought convicts in from local prisons to clean up the island. And that's where they stayed, at Villa Mariana. Now, next up is Cherokee Cottage, but it started off as the Schrady Cottage. Dr. and Mrs. Schrady were the parents of Sarah Gould. Edwin Gould built this for his in-laws as a Christmas present. Nice son-in-law. When Dr. Schrady died, Mrs. Schrady sold the cottage to another doctor, and he renamed it Cherokee for the Georgia state flower at the time, the Cherokee Rose. Cherokee Cottage, Crane Cottage, the Sans Souci, and the clubhouse are all leased from the state of Georgia by the hotel chain that runs the Jekyll Island Club Resort. So you can stay in these two cottages or the Sans Souci or the clubhouse. They also run the Morgan Center. It's an event space now. This is Faith Chapel. Guys, your tour ticket that you bought today for this tour will get you in Faith Chapel today and tomorrow. It's open until 5. It is amazing. Very gothic inside and out. Very dark inside. And then you see these two magnificent stained glass windows. This one in the front was designed by the Tiffany's company. Louis Comfort Tiffany actually came out of retirement to ensure that one was done to his liking. You can't see the glory of this window from the outside. It's covered by UV protection, but from the inside, that window absolutely glows, and it is stunningly beautiful. There's also a window at the back of the church that was designed by a father and daughter team, Helen and David Armstrong. Equally as beautiful. So how did this little kingdom fall? Well, I kind of hinted around to it at the first of the tour. The younger generation stopped wanting to come down to the club, so they started leasing their parents' and grandparents' cottages back to the club. And they just never came back. Then in 1942, World War II, This island was evacuated because German U-boats were spotted off the coast of Georgia. A military post set up here on the island. After the war, the members could have returned, but very few of them did, and even fewer servants came back. In 1947, our governor, M.E. Thompson, saw an opportunity that maybe those members wanted to sell their club that was kind of going down. He made an offer. They refused his first offer. He did a little digging, and he found they had not been paying their taxes.
Uh-oh.
So through condemnation hearings and eminent domain, he was able to buy this island for $675,000 through the court system. Now, after they paid their back taxes and their legal fees, they only got about $153,000 to split between them. Kind of a sad way for a Gilded Age to end, but hey, we ended up with a state park for all and not on the
Bye, Felicia.
Bye, Felicia.